Daryl here. The channel is Programming in Any Language. The supporting website is www.black-duck.com. You'll find the videos and PDFs of the code there in most cases. The video is the Anything Database version 2, part 7, Deleting a Record. Deleting a record is really the first half of editing, without the ability to make changes. Essentially, you navigate to the record you want to delete. Once the record is displayed, you can click delete and the record is removed from the list. That's it. Of course, thinking about the user is probably a good idea to ask them if you are sure and to allow them to cancel the operation if they wish. Well, editing's out of the way. And one of the things we did with editing is we ended up navigating to a record and then chose whether or not to change it or not. This time we're going to navigate to a record and we're going to delete it. So we're going to set up deleting a record as our next process in our Anything Database version 2. And that's what we're looking at today is the Anything Database version 2, part 7, deleting a record. If you look at the hierarchy chart, deleting a record looks fairly straightforward. We simply go in there, remove the selected record, and display our record count. When you think about this a little bit, deleting a record's fine, but it's also dangerous. You may not want to get rid of a record. You can't get it back. You have to type it in or recreate it. You might want to give the user a chance to make a decision on this. It's just before a last-minute decision. Do you want it? Sure, you want to delete that kind of thing. Ask the question. Let's break this down. Look at it on a simpler aspect here, and you can see that deleting a record, remove a record, delete the record count. That's it. You might want to think about the cancel piece here. Maybe we wouldn't have to use the cancel itself here. Maybe you can put a little checkpoint here where you can let the user decide whether he or she wants to actually get rid of that record or not. In other words, continue on. So a little bit of safety factor, but this shouldn't be a tough process to do. So let's take a look. And here's our form. What we're going to use the number of records. We're going to see that because that's going to change. We're going to be deleting the record count. We're going to be informing the user that something's happened here. We deleted a record successfully, and we'll be using the delete button here. Will we be using the update or the cancel? Probably not. We probably can do this maybe with a message box or something. We need to think about how we're actually going to work this thing through. But the basic process here. So let's give it a shot. If we look at our application, we can go in the delete section right here. And we have nothing there, of course. We haven't coded anything. What do we want to do? Well, we can only delete if we're actually looking at a record. So we have to have navigated to the record. So like we did up here in button edit, we want this little if statement to be placed in here. So we'll go ahead and do that. We'll pop in this. And we'll place it right down in here. And then we'll give ourselves our set of braces. And there they are. So basically, if the record pointer is greater than or equal to 0, we can do a delete. Otherwise, we can say else. And give ourselves a little message box that simply says message no record visible to delete. So that'll get us out of here safely again. But if we want to actually delete a record when we have one there, we want to make that decision. So maybe we should be making this decision on whether or not we actually want to do it. What we want to do here is we certainly want to check and see if the record pointer is greater than or equal to 0 to do our delete. However, when we're actually in the delete, we're going to be displaying the record. The record's going to be sitting out there. We're going to give the user one last chance to maybe get out if they want. And something that might work out real well is a dialog result box. We want to do first, though, we want to be able to make sure that we want to do this kind of operation to give the user a choice. We're going to create a couple of variables for our message, only because we're going to set up a message box yes and no section here. And this will help the readability. So we'll say string str message is equal to are you sure you want to delete this record? Big question mark in there. That's a variable. Another one, string str dialog equals warning. That might be best. You can do something different if you want. You're going to see this when the box comes up. Then we're going to set up our var. var result is going to be equal to messagebox.show str message, what we're getting up above, str dialog, which you've also created above, message box or message box buttons dot yes no and message box icon question. We're asking a question here. We'll just delay a question mark on the box we're looking at. That'll set up our message box that we're going to be using here. Then we can actually say and use our if statement here. So we're going to say if result dialog yes. So if our record is greater than or equal to 0, we want to do this stuff down in here. Otherwise, we want to say no record visible to delete. But once we start doing this stuff down in here, we're going to set this message box. We're going to actually ask it, if, are you going to do this record? Yes or no? There's a question mark. And if the person says yes, we're going to do the deletion here. Otherwise, we're going to not do the deletion. So we're basically going to say LBL message.txt operation canceled. That gets us out of here completely. So basically, we've pressed the delete key, and now we're giving the user a yes or no question to make sure that they're sure they want to do it. And if so, they're going to actually go ahead and delete the record. How are they going to do that? Well, we're going to go ahead and we're going to delete record from list. And we're going to spell it right too. From call delete record routine. And we created that back in the edit thing because we had to delete and then insert. So it's already existing. So we're going to be making use of that. We also want to say int record count is equal to int record count minus 1. We're going to decrement the record because we've actually gotten rid of one. Decrement count. We then want to display it. So we'll display record count. That's a routine we have too. We also want to clear text boxes because we got rid of the record that's there. We don't have to set the enable up because we never did enable them. We simply were in the process of deleting it. So they were not enabled, but they were visible if we could see the things that were there. The next thing we want to do is set our int record pointer to -1. We are currently not looking at a record. Nothing's showing. So in order to change the record pointer, we're going to have to use navigation to actually increase that. So we want to set that to 0. This should be what we need to do. So it's a little tricky, not too bad. The primary thing is if you just went straight through and did this deletion, you're fine. It's when you get involved with telling the user, are you sure you want to do this? That you got to take that extra precaution and put all this stuff together. I'm missing a semicolon here. There we go. That's going to help us. And I think we're good. We're going to go ahead and try a run on this thing. Save all, and let's do a run. Our application comes up. We do a load. Do our navigate, Daffy, Elmer, Tweety. Nobody else. Let's add one. Let's add Foghorn Leghorn. Foghorn's in place. We can check them by looking at the last record. There's Foghorn. We can back up. Tweety, Elmer, and Daffy. Let's go forward and let's get rid of Tweety. Try our delete key right now. We're going to hit this delete. And it says, are you sure you want to delete this record? Here's our warning that's popping up. That's the thing we did in our dialogue right here. Are you sure you want to delete this? This is our message. And the question mark is what's showing up on the message box icon, that question right here. And the yes, no is giving us our buttons right here. I'm going to say no to this thing. And that leaves us exactly where we are. Nothing's changed. We can simply delete, go back and forth on this thing, go forward. All our records are still there. So we allow the user to get out without changing anything. Remember, our record count is still 4, 0, 1, 2, and 3. We can go to the last one, and it's record number 3, bottom of file. Let's go back and let's try and delete that Tweety again. This time we're going to say delete, and this time we're going to say yes to it. And he's gone. Our buttons are still showing this, but notice everything's cleared out here. We're showing a record number of 3. We're sitting at, well, we're saying we're sitting at record 2. This is a little bit of a problem because we should be displaying the record count. Yeah, this is a little bit of an issue here. We should be saying something different. The record count should be, we should not have a record count displayed is what's going on here. It should be saying record successfully deleted. That's what's going on here. That's what we need to say. So we need, yeah, we're missing that. So let's kill this. Let's go ahead and pop that in place here. We're going to want a user message up here. We'll just borrow that one. Place this in here. And we're going to say record successfully deleted. And leave it at that. That should get rid of the message box problem. There's always these subtle little things that are in there. File save all. Test it again. Load. With Daffy, Elmer, Bird. We need to put in Foghorn. We'll add him. He's updated. He's our last record in there, bottom file. Go to our top file. Go forward. Try our Tweety again. We'll delete Tweety. We won't delete Tweety. We'll say no. Operation cancel. That's what we want to see up here. 4 is still sitting up here. We'll now do a backup. Go back to Tweety again. Do a delete. This time we'll say yes to it. Record successfully deleted. That's what we want to see. If this is going to pop up here and get us. And now we have 3 records in our position here. We're not showing any records, so we're not actually sitting there. So if we go forward on this, we would actually go to the first record, record number 0. Go to the top of record number 0. So delete is now working. Our delete key is in process, seems to work just fine. This is the results of what we actually did. Not too much of a problem here. Biggest deal was making sure that the user has a chance to get out if that's the case. Exit out, and that's delete in a nutshell. Well, delete was easy enough. Our next one, clearing the file, should be pretty easy as well. Thanks for watching. Visit the website when you get a chance. And please subscribe to the channel. There's more stuff coming every week. We'll see you in the next video. Take care.